Hey everybody, my name's Jake and I'm an educator at Lululemon Glasgow, and today I'm joined by Jamie Wieland from Run Talk Run. Hey Jamie,
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you.
thanks for joining us.
No problem, thank you for having me.
We'll start with the $1,000,000 question, the one that everyone wants to know. If you could wake up in the morning with a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, excellent question. I think for me, try and stay away from the usual ones, but I do love animals. I think talking to animals would be brilliant. I think that'd be so good. Just find out what they're thinking, what they dream about, all that sort of stuff. Personally, I had a wee dog who was like my best pal in the world. He sadly passed away a couple of years ago. Would have just been really good to talk to him during all of that and ask how he's doing and all that stuff. Anything we could do to help things, and just make him know that everything's going to be all right. We have two cats, one of which is wild. He's not quite right. So it'd be good just to get inside his head and find out what's going on there, and if we can just try and calm him down a bit, what we can do to get him under control. So yeah, I think that'd be mine, a sort of Dr. Dolittle type one.
Nice, I like it. So like for people that don't know, can you tell us like a little bit about Run Talk Run?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people don't seem to know about it, which is sad, even though it is now it's a global sort of running group. So it's a free weekly gentle 5K. Sorry, I think it was a delivery. Weekly 5K, really easy pace. It's focused on mental health. Sorry. So we go at a nice conversational pace. We talk about basically everything and anything, but we do gently encourage you to talk about mental health. But you're not forced or under any obligation to do so. We have them twice a week in Glasgow. The one that I started up, that's been up running for a wee while, is every Thursday. And then one of our runners took up Monday night to do that. He just managed to start that right before lockdown, which was brilliant, both in the city centre. And hopefully post lockdown, we're going to get one started in the south side of Glasgow as well. So yeah, everyone and anyone's welcome to come along. It's for all abilities. You just have to be over 18. And yeah, just really beginner friendly. No previous running experience required at all.
Cool. What would you say your favourite place in Glasgow to run is?
Oh, that is good. It's a tough one. So I do like the mix of Glasgow, like with obviously it's with the city and everything, but all the green space that Glasgow has to offer. So for me, I love going around the parks, and I think from doing park run, you get like a really good mix of loads of parks across Glasgow. So once that gets up running again, I would encourage people to try that. For me, Pollock Park is probably my favourite. I absolutely love it. Both for running and just going walking. It really seems to clear my head. It was there for us like during lockdown. We were living in a flat at the time, so like Pollock Park was our sort of garden and our green space during that. But yeah, the city centre obviously, but both our runs are there, so you're taking in all the architecture, all the sites along that as well. So Pollock Park's a favourite, but that's a tough question. There's so many places in Glasgow.
It's such a contrasting city, Glasgow, with the kind of cold, hard streets and then the kind of the luscious green kind of parks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd be curious to know a little bit about like your personal like journey with running. Like, did you always like love it, and like how did you kind of come to where you are with running and like kind of organising the community around running?
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't say I've always loved it. I wasn't even always into it. Even now, it's probably still a bit of a love-hate relationship with it at times. I would say when I was younger and things, I was probably a wee bit more of like a gym bunny and all of that stuff. and we'd do the sort of token run for a bit of cardio. And then when I sort of left all that behind, I started doing a wee bit more running. Maybe I started doing it like weekly, which for me was like unheard of. And then I think it was about 2015, signed up to the Glasgow Half, the Great Scottish Run. And then from there, I just caught the running bug. Just absolutely loved everything about it. Couldn't believe I'd never did anything like this before. Just the streets, like with all the runners, just everyone out cheering you on. Yeah, the whole buzz around that was just absolutely amazing. So from there, I picked it up, started getting into like doing park runs each week. And then I think it was before I was 30, I wanted to try and set myself a target of doing a marathon. So I managed to get in to do one right before that. I did Loch Ness. And then, yeah, I just properly, even more so, caught the bug. The following year, I did like 3 marathons in like 5 months. It was just a bit too much. And then sort of dropped off running, I'd say, for a good few months. From there, just with other things that were happening in my personal life, hit a bit of a rough patch. Definitely felt things starting to dip. And picked back up running again, and it became more of like a coping mechanism, and a bit of sort of self-therapy for me. So realised how important running is, just not for your physical health, but for your mental health. There I ended up joining a local running club, ended up doing loads with them, ended up doing an ultra marathon. And yeah, just with everything that was going on at the time personally, almost just kind of Forrest Gumped it and just like try to run it off, try and forget about everything and keep running. But from that and the impact it felt it had on me, I wanted to try and give something back in that sense, and that's how I ended up doing the Run Talk Run in Glasgow. Just because I know how beneficial activity can be for your mental health. So yeah, that's basically my story. I haven't always loved it. Even now, yeah, a bit of love-hate. Sometimes I can do it non-stop for weeks. Other times it'll be a month. I'll let it go by, which is fine. You don't always have to love running, but yeah, that's probably my journey.
And like, as you like kind of approach running alone, like how would you say that experience of running alone differs to running in a group?
I do love doing both. I can easily go run alone for hours on end. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Sort of like a bit of you time. I find it quite meditative. I've always tried to sort of get into meditation, and I will keep trying, but I cannot get the hang of it. I just can't sit still and do it all. Whereas with running, I feel like I naturally go into that mode. So going out to run alone, I think is brilliant. Either like the silence or getting some good music on or a podcast. I think it just it can be quite cathartic. It can sort of let you think things through. It can sort of make you be a bit inspired as well. I think that anything that's been bothering you, nothing seems that bad after a run. Everything seems manageable and achievable, and that is what I love about running alone. Running in a group is definitely more fun, I'd say, than running alone. As I've mentioned, park runs, I absolutely love that. I love the sense of community that running in a group brings. The encouragement you give each other can sometimes be a bit competitive. Just having that opportunity to speak to people and vent about things, and bounce ideas off each other. You get a real sense of community running in a group. Which I absolutely love as well. You'll find runners are all very like that as well. So yeah, they've both got their positives I love both.
Have you got like any tips for anyone who's like kind of wanting to start out in their running journey? Because like personally speaking, I do enjoy running, and I'll go out one day and I'll smash 5K, but then I won't do it again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so have you got any tips to kind of, just generally any tips to help people either at the start of their journey or just tips about running in general?
Yeah, and like what you've said, like that's absolutely fine to do if that's how your sort of relationship with running is. That's fine. I can be sort of similar to that. I'll do 5, 10K, whatever, leave it a good week or so, and then get back into it. I think that's absolutely fine. Definitely the first thing is get yourself a good comfy pair of running shoes. That's going to be your main thing. They don't have to be something totally expensive and matching up with your foot drop and inversion and all this sort of stuff. Just go for comfort. That's going to be your main thing. And then just getting outside, just starting to do little bits at a time. I think sometimes you think, oh, you see other folk, they're doing 5Ks and 10Ks and marathons, all this, and it just seems like something way out there and unachievable. But if the goal for you could be, running to the end of the street or doing a lap of the block, and just setting yourself wee small goals just to keep building up from there. For me, that's what tends to work best. If you're wanting to progress your running, and for other people, it might just be, getting that social interaction. So it could just be, meeting up with a friend. I think it's one friend at the moment, and going round the park or something like that. You might find that better than, running around the streets. Like running around the streets might be the most boring thing in the world for you. Other people, they might like running in the trails or through forests, stuff like that. So I guess it's finding what's best suits you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. Like finding your environment, because I hate running in the streets. That's definitely why I don't do it.
It can be so boring. It can be really boring. So just finding a route you like, scenery, just an area, is probably might do better. When I did that ultra a couple of years ago, I then found that, you know what, running in trails and everything is so much better, and my knees aren't killing me. So this is maybe the way to go. So, but I try to get a bit of both still.
As we live in probably one of the most temperamental weather cities in the country, what do you do when it rains?
Get a good rain jacket. That's the main thing. I'd still go out raining. Go out when it's raining. I do actually quite enjoy it, unless it's like proper sideways rain. Like that's just not fun for anyone. It's just about sort of being prepared, essentially. Just a wee light rain jacket, and just go for it. It's Scotland, it's west of Scotland, it's always going to be raining. You could get all 4 seasons in one day. Don't let the weather put you off. Just get out and go for it. You might find that you really enjoy it.
Yeah, my grandfather would always say to me, there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what keeps you motivated to run, do you reckon?
Well, again, I'd say motivation with running can sort of ebb and flow. It's not always there. Let's say that. And that's fine as well. I hope if people find that they're not always motivated, that it's fine. Like you can come back to him later on. For me personally, I'd say it used to be like my physical health which is still part of it, and keeping fit and trying to progress and get better times and all that sort of stuff. Whereas now it's definitely more about the mental health benefits of it for me. I definitely notice if I've maybe not went a run for a couple of days, a few days, that mental health will maybe just start to dip a wee bit. Just stressful things just seem that wee bit more stressful than they would have been if I was out running. So it's usually about that point my partner will be like, right, you get out the door, go for a run. Like that sort of tends to be Wham's. So yeah, that is my sort of motivation for it. I'd say now with this group as well, that is part of my motivation, trying to get others involved in running and get them out running and talking. I think just the two things combined work really well together. And just having that sort of, it's easier to talk, I think, when you are doing something rather than sometimes like a face-to-face. You tend to find if you're sort of sideways with someone, even if it's walking or you're, you know, in the car, like you can have a better chat with people sometimes that way. So yeah, that's my motivation, I'd say.
Cool. Just to wrap everything around then, so like how do we find you, Jamie? Like how do people get involved and what can runners expect from running together?
So the best place to get us would be on social media, so like Facebook and Instagram. Just send a message and I'll pick that up there and I'll get back in touch with you. You can leave a comment if you like as well. It might get lost within it. If you're feeling a wee bit fearful about getting in touch, don't worry at all. It's absolutely fine. A lot of people might get in touch, maybe don't hear from them for a few weeks or months, and then all of a sudden they get back in touch again and come along. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry if you have left it for a while, just whenever it takes you to come around to coming along, it's absolutely fine. We're more than happy for you. I would love for you to come at any point. There is also the email rtrglasgow@gmail.com. and the Run Talk Run website itself, runtalkrun.com. There'll be an option there, like a postcode finder, to find your local run, because we've got quite a few across Scotland now, as well as it can direct you to getting in touch with the local leader for that group. And sorry, the other part of that question was,
what can runners who maybe haven't like ran in a group before, what could they expect from like kind of running together in a group?
Okay, so before we have every run, we have a wee chat just about how the run operates, how it works. You know, we'll be, as I said, running at a nice, easy conversationalist pace. We only go as fast as the slowest runner as well, so we will always stay together in a group. If we have to walk, we walk. We do that quite a few times as well. That's absolutely fine. And yeah, and we just have a chat really about the day-to-day, how your week's been, just sort of really easy stuff like that. But you, as I said, we do gently encourage folk to talk about mental health. So it could be, you know, why they're there, what's brought them along, how they found us. You know, everyone that's coming to it is coming for that purpose of like the mental health aspect. So everyone wants to get something out of that. So everyone is happy to talk about it. It's just sometimes building up that courage to do so. From coming to the group, my main hope is that you'll leave that just, you know, feeling better. That's the main thing. A side bonus is, you know, you'll get a wee bit fitter. Yeah, that's going to be the main thing. Just that sense of community, sense of belonging. It's just a less intimidating, maybe more accessible way to talk about your mental health. So yeah, that's sort of, I'd say that the crux of the group, just beginner friendly, easy to talk to everyone, accessible, running mental health group, essentially.
Perfect, that's amazing. That's a great place to wrap it all off then. So thanks again, Jamie, for coming on and talking to us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. Really appreciate it.